It's 11 at night, and your neighborhood just went silent. Not quiet, silent. The hum you never noticed, the one your fridge has been singing your entire life, just stopped. Streetlights are dark, your router is dead, your phone says 34%, and the screen feels heavier than it ever has. You walk to the window. Nothing. No glow on the horizon, no distant ambulance, just black in every direction, like someone unplugged the entire sky. You think, okay, power outage, it'll come back. An hour passes, then 6, then 48. The food in your freezer is bleeding warm water onto the kitchen floor. Your phone died 19 hours ago. You have no idea what's happening out there. No news, no updates, no way to call anyone. You are sitting in the dark in the 21st century, and you are functionally living in the 14th. And somewhere in your garage, that generator you bought 3 years ago is sitting there with half a tank of gas that's been degrading since the day you poured it in. You fire it up. It roars to life. Congratulations! Everyone within 4 blocks now knows exactly who has electricity. And that half tank? It'll last you maybe 8 hours. Then you're back to nothing, except now you've advertised to every desperate person in earshot that your house is the one worth visiting. Here's what nobody in the hardware store told you when they sold you that thing. A generator is not a power plan. It's a countdown timer with a pull cord. Gasoline degrades in 3 to 6 months without stabilizer. Diesel lasts a little longer, but not much, and the average American home burns through 30 kilowatt hours per day. Your little portable unit puts out maybe 3 to 5 kilowatts, which sounds fine until you realize you'd need roughly 10 to 15 gallons of gas a day to keep even half your house running. Where exactly are you getting that fuel when every gas station pump requires electricity to operate? The generator fantasy is a trap, and most people are still stuck in it. But you're not going to be, because what I'm about to walk you through isn't about one machine. It's about building a power ecosystem out of things that are either free, already in your garage, or sitting abandoned in every parking lot in America. Some of these you can set up today. Others are for the deep collapse. And the last one we'll get to, it genuinely blew my mind when I first tested it, because it runs on something you'd literally throw away. Let's get into it. The first source, the silent panels. Solar is obvious, right? Everyone knows solar. But most people picture some $40,000 rooftop installation with a Tesla Powerwall and an electrician named Gary. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about a single 100-watt portable panel, which you can grab right now for about $80 to $100, connected to a charge controller and a deep cycle battery. That's it.
That setup, that tiny little rig, can keep your phones charged, run LED lights, power a radio, and keep a small medical device going indefinitely. Not your whole house, your survival baseline. 100 watts of solar on a clear day gives you roughly 400 to 600 watt hours depending on your latitude. That's not a lot, but it's not nothing. It's the difference between information and darkness, between communication and isolation. The real trick most people miss is that solar scales. 1 panel is survival. 4 panels and a decent battery bank is comfort. You don't need to go from 0 to whole house. You need to go from 0 to alive. Now, the second source is the one I think is criminally underrated. I call it the alternator engine. Every single car sitting dead on every road and in every driveway after a grid collapse has a 12-volt alternator inside it. That alternator is designed to convert mechanical energy into electrical energy. It pushes 50 to 80 amps at 12 volts. That's 600 to nearly 1,000 watts. From a part the size of a cantaloupe, all it needs is something to spin it. A bicycle, a water wheel, a hand crank, a lawnmower engine running on whatever fuel you've scrounged. You pull that alternator out of any vehicle, rig a belt to it, spin it, and you've got a legitimate power station. Pair it with a car battery, and now you've got storage too. People think you need an engineering degree for this. You need a wrench, a belt, and about 40 minutes of stubbornness. I've seen guys in rural Honduras running entire households off rigged alternators and a creek. Not theory, fact. Third source, moving water. If you are anywhere near a stream, a creek, even a drainage channel with consistent flow, you are sitting on 24-hour power. This is called microhydro. A small stream with just 3 feet of vertical drop and decent flow can produce 100 watts continuously. Not when the sun's out, not when the wind blows, continuously, day and night, rain or shine. That's over 2 kilowatt hours per day from a setup you can build with PVC pipe, a salvaged motor, and some improvised turbine blades. Hydro is the quiet king of off-grid power, and almost nobody talks about it because most survival content is made by people living in suburbs. If you've got moving water, you've already won the energy war. You just don't know it yet. And if you're sitting there thinking, well, I don't live near a creek, hold on, because the fourth source works anywhere there's fire. The heat tap, thermoelectric generators, TEGs. These are flat little semiconductor plates that generate electricity from temperature difference. One side hot, one side cold, and electrons flow between them. You place one on a campfire or a wood stove with a heat sink on the cool side, and it produces power. Not a lot, maybe 5 to 15 watts depending on the unit, but it's power from fire. And fire is something you'll have anyway if you're cooking, boiling water, or heating your shelter. You're already burning wood. Now that wood is also charging your battery. There are commercial camping units that do this for around $50 to $150, or you can buy raw TEG plates online right now for under $10 each and wire them yourself. Speaking of doing things yourself, if you've made it this far, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button. Not for me, for future you, the one sitting in the dark wishing they'd paid more attention. Algorithms are weird. If you don't subscribe, this video vanishes into the void, and the next person who needs it never finds it. All right, fifth source, your legs, the pedal plant. A human being pedaling a bicycle can sustain about 75 watts. Doesn't sound like much, but 75 watts for 1 hour is 75 watt-hours, and that's enough to fully charge a laptop, run LED lights for a full night, or power a ham radio for days. Rig a bike to a car alternator like we talked about earlier, see how these connect, and you've got a human-powered charging station that works in any weather, any time of day, with zero fuel cost, just calories. And in a collapse scenario, you'll want the exercise anyway. Trust me, idle hands in a crisis spiral into panic fast. Pedaling is productive anxiety management, therapy that makes watts. Now, here's the one that actually changed how I think about all of this. The sixth source, the scavenger grid. After a grid down event, you are surrounded by batteries. They're everywhere. Laptops, power tools, electric scooters, hybrid cars, e-bikes, UPS backups in every office building. A single Tesla or Chevy Bolt has a battery pack holding 60 to 75 kilowatt hours. That is enough to power a modest household for 2 to 3 days. And those batteries don't disappear when the grid dies. They're just sitting there in parking garages, in driveways, waiting. Every cordless drill has an 18-volt lithium pack. Every abandoned e-scooter downtown has a 36-volt battery. Every office building has rack-mounted UPS systems with sealed lead-acid batteries that can be wired into a 12-volt bank in minutes. The modern world is absolutely saturated with stored energy. When the grid dies, the energy doesn't vanish, it just stops being delivered to you. The infrastructure crumbles, but the batteries remain. Your job is to become the grid. Now, why does any of this actually work? Why can a cobbled-together mess of solar panels, alternators, and scavenged batteries actually keep you alive? Because power isn't magic, it's just electrons moving. A wall outlet and a car battery and a solar panel all produce the same thing, electrons flowing through a conductor. The only differences are voltage, amperage, and how you manage them. A $15 charge controller from Amazon keeps your battery from overcharging. A $40 inverter turns 12-volt DC into the 120-volt AC your devices expect. These are not complex machines. They're translators. And once you understand that a watt is a watt, whether it came from a nuclear reactor or a guy on a bicycle, the whole system clicks. The grid was never giving you something rare, it was giving you something convenient. And convenience is the first casualty of collapse. Capability doesn't have to be. Here's something I want you to actually think about. Leave it in the comments if you want. What's your weakest link right now? If the power dropped tonight and didn't come back, what fails first in your setup? Your communication? Food storage? Medical equipment? I'm genuinely curious because everyone's answer is different and it shapes everything about which of these sources you should prioritize first. And one more thing most people get wrong. You do not need to power your whole house. That mindset is a leftover from normal life. In a collapse, you need to power 5 things: lights, communication, water purification, medical devices if applicable, and food preservation. That's it. Everything else is comfort, and comfort can wait. Those 5 things, the actual non-negotiable survival loads, total maybe 1 to 2 kilowatt hours per day. That's achievable with a single solar panel and a battery, or a bike generator and 2 hours of pedaling, or a micro-hydro rig running while you sleep. The unlimited power isn't about generating 10,000 watts, it's about never running out. Sustainable beats powerful every single time. So picture this. It's been 3 weeks since the grid went dark. Your neighbors are burning through their last candles. The guy with the generator ran out of gas on day 4 and hasn't been seen since. But your place has a soft glow in the window. Your radio picks up the emergency broadcast that finally comes through. Your water filter runs because the pump has power. Your phone, charged off a bike rig and a scavenged battery, holds the only offline maps and medical references for 6 blocks. You're not running an empire. You're running a small, quiet, sustainable system that just doesn't stop. That's not luck, that's design. The grid was always a single point of failure dressed up as civilization. You just built something better, something distributed, something resilient, something that doesn't need permission from a power company to keep your family alive. Now go build it before the lights decide for you. And if this is the kind of knowledge that makes the difference, hit subscribe, because the next one we're putting out might be the one you'll wish you'd seen sooner.